Hello, welcome to In the Kitchen with Kathy, the quarantine edition of Cooking with Joe and Kathy. Joe's at work today, so anyway, today I'm on my own. So I'm actually going to make Jeanne Robertson's 7-Up pound cake that she talks about in her Don't Send a Man to the Grocery Store skit. So anyway, I'm going to just follow this step by step. So we've got our oven preheated to 300 degrees, or it's on its way anyway. Next, we're going to cream the margarine, shortening, and sugar. Well, I don't use margarine, I use real butter. So we're going to add the 2 sticks of butter to our mixer, along with the 3 cups of sugar and our ½ a cup of shortening. Just going to throw that in there, and we're going to turn it on and let it go. So we're going to lock it in place and turn it on. And it's best to actually have your butter at room temperature, because it's going to cream a little bit better. If you don't have it at room temperature, Jeanne says to put it under the kitchen light until it's soft. So good idea. I actually had mine already at room temperature. So if you don't have it at room temperature, follow Jeanne's advice. Stick it under a kitchen light and soften it up. So we're going to let this go for a few minutes, and I will be right back. Hello everybody, and we are back, and we are on to the step 2 of Jeanne's 7-Up pound cake. So anyway, Jeanne says next to use the lemon and vanilla extracts. Well, I don't have any lemon extracts, so I'm going to actually use real lemon juice. And I've got some real vanilla extract from the Spice and Tea Exchange. So we're going to use that into our creamed butter, shortening, and sugar. And let's see if Jeanne has any notes about the lemon. Yeah, she says add now so you won't forget, because the cake tastes funny without them. So we're going to throw those in there, and then we'll blend some more. So we're going to do 1½ tablespoons of real lemon juice. She says give or take a little, so we're just going to do that. And 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract. And it's not going to make it terrible if you add a little more of either one or both. And by the way, the reason I decided to make the 7-Up pound cake today is because I saw Jeanne said the other day that she wasn't able to find all the ingredients. She was planning on making a video of how to do her 7-Up pound cake. So I figured, well, I've got all the ingredients. I'll make a video for her. So anyway, Jeanne Robertson's 7-Up pound cake. So we're going to blend some more, get that lemon juice and vanilla extract mixed in well. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 5 eggs. And she does say that you're supposed to add them one at a time. She just throws everything in there. Well, you know what? That's how I do things too. I just throw everything in the mixer and do it all at once. But she does have a little side note to be sure to take the shells off the eggs. So we're going to take a break real quick. I'm going to get the eggs into the mixture, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've added 5 eggs to our cream sugar mixture. So we're going to turn this on, let them kind of blend up a little bit together here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and measure our 7-Up. She calls for 7 ounces of 7-Up. So I asked Joe to bring me home 2 of these. He brought me home a 6-pack, so I got enough 7-Up to make quite a few of these if I should decide to. Alright, so It is 7 ounces of 7-Up. And we've got 3 cups of flour over here ready to go in as well. And her note about the flour is you measure it before you sift it. Actually, I think she doesn't sift it. So, yeah, measure before sifting. So I don't know if that means that you're supposed to measure it and then sift it, or just throw it in there unsifted. So I'm going to actually probably just throw it in there unsifted. Which usually the reason for sifting is to make your cakes lighter. I don't know if this is true or not, but you know, maybe I know that pound cakes are usually a lot more dense, so maybe that's why they're more dense, because they're made with unsifted flour. So we're going to go with that. So anyway, she says to add the flour and the 7-Up alternately. And a little side note that she just dumps everything in on that too. So that's what we're going to do. Well, maybe not all the flour in at once. We'll do the flour. Get it started. We're going to add a little bit of the 7-Up in here as it kind of mixes up. And she says to spray a 10-inch tube pan with Baker's Joy. Well, I don't have Baker's Joy on hand. Don't usually, because I've always done things kind of old school like my grandma. And I just greased and floured my tube pan really well. And that's just so that your cake doesn't stick after it's been cooked. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our flour. And get that going. And we'll go ahead and add the rest of our 7-Up into the mixture. Alright. So we'll get these very well incorporated here. And I'll be right back after I get this in our tube pan. Everybody, I've got our cake mix or cake batter into our 10-inch tube pan. And it's going to go into a 300-degree oven for 1 hour. So I'll be back in an hour and we'll see how this turned out. Alright everybody, it's been an hour since we've had the cake in the oven. Again, today we're making Jeanne Robertson's 7-Up cake. This is the cake that she usually takes to people's homes whenever someone has been sick or if they have passed. And to understand that, go to Jeanne Robertson's YouTube page and look up Don't Ever Send a Man to the Grocery Store. So anyway, we're going to check our cake. It's been an hour. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. And Jeanne says to test to see if it's done. Oh my goodness, this is huge. Okay, got that up there. I can tell right now without even testing it the way that Jeanne says to test it that it is not done. And it's definitely, no, it's definitely not done. The way Jeanne says to test it though, is take a knife or a broom straw and start poking around on it until everything comes out clean. So anyway, we're going to put this back in the oven, and based on how it feels, I'm going to give it another 15 more minutes. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. So stick around. Okay, after an additional 55 minutes, yes, you heard right, an additional 55 minutes on top of the hour, my cake is finally done. And I kind of knew this whenever I was putting it in the pan. I was putting way too much batter in it, that it wasn't going to get done in time. And sure enough, it didn't. So anyway, I kind of slossed off the top that was kind of bubbled up over. And once I did that, it cooked on through, pretty good the rest of the way. So according to Jeanne's directions, she says to let this sit for 30 minutes before flipping it out of the pan. So we'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, everybody. Hopefully this is the final step for Jeanne Robertson's 7-Up pound cake. I waited the 30 minutes for it to cool before flipping, so we're going to try this flipping thing, see if it happens or not. So here goes nothing. We'll see what happens. So far the cake took 55 minutes more to cook, so I'm thinking it might take a little bit longer to cool as well. But we shall see. This is still pretty hot, but we're gonna see if it falls out. And so far, nope, it's not falling out. So we're gonna let it cool just a little bit more. And if this doesn't turn out well, we'll just crumble it up and make a punch bowl pound cake. So stay tuned to see if we have to have a part 2 of the pound cake. So anyway, we'll give it probably another 15 minutes to cool, and then I'll try lifting it again. Hopefully it'll be good. Stay tuned. All right. Hopefully this has cooled off enough that we can get this cake out of here without having to make a punch bowl cake out of it. Oh, I think I feel it loosening. Nope. And it's going to have to be a punch bowl cake. I was not generous enough with the shortening and the flour, apparently. So anyway, what we're going to do here in a little while, not right now, is we're going to cut this up into a big bowl, big mixing bowl. And I'll mix up some strawberries that's been soaked in some sugar in with that. And make some homemade whipped cream to stir in all that. And it's just going to be a punch bowl cake. So, oh well, so much for making the Jeanne Robertson 7-Up pound cake. Which, by the way, I've tasted it and it is delicious. It just did not turn out the way I was expecting it to. So, anyway, you learn from your mistakes. And I'll give you a list of all those mistakes here after in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that on what I've learned from this mistake. So what did I learn today with trying to make Jeanne Robertson's 7-Up pound cake? Well, let's see here. Number 1. Try recipes out before announcing that you're going to post a video about making the recipe. And second, I'm going to start using small disposable pans in the future, or cupcake papers. Either one. That way there's no flipping involved as far as trying to get the cake out of something. That way it's up to whoever you give it to. It's their problem. And 3, this is Jeanne's advice. Find humor in everything. And 4, let Jeanne make the 7-Up pound cake. Have a good day, y'all.